and welcome to this class. I am Kirsten Mobani, and I'm taking you on the subject, security education. The theme of this class is Common Crimes and Security Management 1, and our topic is Common Crimes, Causes, and Effects. At the end of our class, you'll be able to identify common crimes, list the causes of common crimes, list the effects of common crimes. You'll be able to explain how to prevent common crimes. You'll be able to explain ways of relating with security agents and other agents in crime prevention. What is security? We say it's the state of being free from harm or threats. It involves safety and all the measures we take to be safe or protected. Security can be that of a person, a property, or a country. At this point, it's important for us to know that the need for security means that there are threats around us. It may not be possible to completely do away with all these threats, but it's important that measures are put in place for us to reduce how frequently they occur. So this is why this subject is important, so that you know these threats around us and the things we can do to reduce them. One of the threats to security is crime. So what is crime? A crime is any act that offends a person or the state and for which a person can be punished by the law. Or another definition of crime is that it is any act that breaks the law and therefore leads to punishment by the states. This means that the only body that can punish crime is the states. So people who commit crime can be punished in these ways. They can be made to pay fines, they may be put in jail, and they may be put to death. This last point, most importantly, depends on how serious the crime is, and it also depends on the law that is prevalent in the states. There are different types of crime around us. Some of them are theft. We say it's the act of taking the property of another person without permission. It is simply the act of stealing. It's a crime to steal or to dispossess people of their belongings. Another one is rape. We say it is the act of having sex with another person without their permission. So when people force other people to have sex with them or against their will, it is a crime and it is punishable by the states. Murder. Murder is the conscious act of killing a person. It is not an act done in self-defense. This means that someone who commits murder must have thought about it. In fact, it's an intentional act of killing someone or taking the life of another person. It's a crime because nobody has the right to take away the life of another person and can be punished for murder. Manslaughter. It is the act of killing a person but not willfully or not intentionally, as opposed to murder. Remember, we say that murder is an intentional act of killing someone. But the difference between murder and manslaughter is that manslaughter, it's obviously not intentional. For example, two men are fighting and one picks up a heavy item and hits the other person. His intention probably was to just inflict injury on this other person. But he falls down and maybe becomes unconscious. And by the time he is rushed to the hospital, he is declared dead. But the intention of the other person who hit him was not to kill him, but somehow he ended up dead. But it doesn't matter whether it was intended or not intended to kill. Once you take the life of another human being, it is a crime, and you can be punished for it. Another crime is that of kidnapping. Say it is the act of taking a person away against their will or by use of force, usually for a ransom. So when people are taken and perhaps their families are made to pay a certain amount of money for their release, it's a crime called kidnap. So most times, the person is held a prisoner until the ransom is paid. Another crime is advance fee fraud, otherwise known as 419. It is when people are deceived to make advance or upfront payment for goods, services, or properties, or even other financial gains, but do not receive the things they paid for. Example of advance fee fraud is the internet scam, job scam. For example, you may be told to pay a certain amount of money to get a job, and then you pay that money, but you don't get that job. Perhaps when you even call the people, their numbers are either not available, or even the so-called office they put up is no longer there. At that time, you realize that you paid for something, but you did not receive that thing. It's advance fee fraud, it's a crime, and it can be punished by the state. Another crime is the sale of contaminated foods or drugs. We say it involves the sale of food or drug items beyond their expiry dates. Contaminated food or drug items refer to items that contain harmful substances, which when consumed or taken into the body causes harm, illness, or in very serious cases, death. Now, every food item or drug item has a certain length of time it can stay before it goes bad or becomes unfit for consumption. But when food vendors or drug stores keep selling these items beyond this time, it means that they are now selling contaminated items, and they can be punished for it because it's a crime. It's a very big crime. Dealing in fake drugs, it's a crime. Say it involves the producing, packaging, and selling of fake drugs. What makes these drugs fake is that their sources and identity are not recognized by the regulatory health authority in the state. So it does not matter if these items are made with the correct proportion of active ingredients. The most important thing is that for every drug to be released into the market for people to buy, they must have been approved by the health regulatory body in the state. But some producers decide to go behind these regulatory bodies and just release drugs into the market for people to buy. So it means that their sources and identity are not recognized by the regulatory health authority of the state. And such drugs are termed fake drugs. It's a crime to sell such drugs, and people who are caught doing it are punished by the law. Other criminal acts are assault, mayhem, false imprisonment, slavery, handling of stolen goods, amongst others. Now, there are different reasons why people commit crime. This is not to say that there is any good reason to commit crime, okay? Because crime is an offense to people and to the state. So let us look at some of the reasons or causes of crime. One of the causes of crime is poverty. Poverty is a state in which someone cannot provide for himself, a state of lack, where he cannot provide his basic needs such as food, clothing, and shelter. People in this state may be tempted to commit crime. They may be tempted to rob others, steal their properties, or even kidnap so that they can get some money. So poverty, illiteracy, or lack of awareness. Some people are uneducated, and so they do not know their rights from their wrong. And sometimes some bad people tend to take advantage of people like this and make them commit crime, either in the name of religion, politics, community rights, etc. Another cause of crime is indiscipline. Some people simply lack control over their behavior. All they just think of is mischief and how to harm other people. They just want other people to be sad. They take joy in seeing people sad. Another cause of common crime is greed and covetousness. They go hand in hand. Some people are just not satisfied with what they have. You know, they are always wanting more money, more fame, more properties, They just want more and more and more things. And this quest causes them to go any length to acquire things that they want. So that's greed. Then covetousness is the excessive desire to acquire things belonging to other people. And so this desire may push some people to commit crime against other people. Another cause of common crime is envy. Envy is a feeling of unhappiness over other people's happiness or achievements. Okay, so you feel this thing should have come to you, or this other person doesn't deserve to have this thing. And because of that feeling, you're unhappy, and you're looking for a way to also make that person unhappy. And so you may decide to commit a crime against that person just to see him unhappy. Another reason of common crime is lack of love. Some people don't feel loved either by their families or friends around them. They don't just feel that anybody loves them. And so when they kind of meet a group of people who show them love or give them a sense of belonging, they tend to remain with such people. And whatever these people do, maybe if it's a criminal group, whatever those people do, such person tend to join them in doing so that he can keep having that sense of belonging. Other reasons include vengeance or an unforgiveness. Some people commit crime because they want to get back at people who have wronged them. They do not just want to forgive. They want to make those people feel their anger. And so they may decide to commit crime against that person, maybe kill or kidnap or rob the person. Another reason people commit crime is economic instability. A harsh economic of the state can make some people commit crime. For example, unemployment, starvation, and a lot of things happening in the economy can cause or push people into crime. Bad company. Some people commit crime because of the kind of company or friends they keep. An adage goes, show me your friend and I will tell you who you are. Most time people who commit crime started by following bad friends. Bad governance. Some of the people we see at the helm of affairs do not get there by the people's vote or through the right means. They did one or two criminal activities, and in doing such things, they made other people commit such crimes with them. So a lot of people commit crime because there is someone at the helm of affairs pushing them or encouraging them to do so. Parental neglect. Some people commit crime because they were not taught the proper things to do by their parents. Some of these persons may be fatherless or motherless, or some of them may even be living with family relatives who really do not care about what they learn or do not learn. And so the only way for them to learn is to maybe join their peers in whatever they do. And so they end up committing crime. Drug and alcohol abuse. A lot of people commit crime because they are addicted to certain drugs, and because they need these drugs to keep coming in, it means that they need to keep buying the drugs. And for them to get money to do this, they may need to commit crime to get the money. So these are some of the reasons people commit crime. There are a lot of effects or results of crime. If you look around you, you see a lot of things that happen that shouldn't be there, but they are there because of crime. Some of them are fear. You can see that any environment with so much crime, people there will live in fear. They may not be able to sleep well. Any noise they hear at any time, they are always scared or panicky. Another effect of crime is lack of trust. People who live in an environment with so much crime tend to lack trust for one another. For example, someone is coming with a business proposal, perhaps with an innocent mind. But because the state is filled with so much crime, they may not trust the person, feeling that the person has come to defraud them. Lack of economic development. Any state or community with so much crime will lack economic development. This is because crime in areas like that may cause businesses to move. And when these businesses move, it means that the revenue that the states generate from such businesses will no longer come to the states. And so revenues are reduced, and the economic development that would also happen to such states may be reduced. So we'll have lack of economic development. Another effect of crime is unwillingness to help others. Because people do not trust others, so they are unwilling to help them. They don't even know if the person they are helping really needs help or if it's someone that has come to hurt them. Rise in unemployment rate. Remember, we talked of lack of economic development and how businesses can move out of a state due to the prevalence of crime. When this happens, realize that some of their staff who were with them may be dropped. They may not be carried along to whatever other location the business is moving to. And so unemployment rate increases. Loss of lives and properties. This is one of the major effects of crime. Crimes such as armed robbery, kidnap, can leave a lot of people dead and a lot of homes or properties damaged. State of chaos in a society. Any society with so much crime would have a state of disorder and confusion because it's either armed robbery today, kidnapping tomorrow, people are hearing of assault the next day, they are hearing of murder another day. It's just one form of crime or the other. So such a place will be in a state of confusion. Increased security expenses. Due to the prevalence of crime in some areas, people may need to take extra measures to secure themselves. And these extra things they do cost a lot of money. For example, someone may decide to build a garage in his compound, or people may decide to put very expensive security locks in order to secure themselves. These are all extra expensive, but people just have to go this length to be able to feel safe or protected. Lack of opportunities. This is another effect of crime. Some people, especially people who come from environments with so much crime, may be losing out on jobs or the ability to make friends because people tend to tag them or label them based on where they are coming from. For example, someone may go for a job and he is qualified for that job. He has experience for the job. But maybe getting to know the community he's coming from and knowing that such a place he's coming from has a lot of crime going on. Such people or the so-called employers may start looking at this person with suspicious eyes and he may ultimately not even get the job. So people from environments heavy with crime tend to be labeled or tagged in a certain way. They may even be arrested for crimes they did not commit just because of where they are coming from. Other effects of crimes on individuals are sleeping disorder, helplessness, confusion, loss of concentration and memory, reduced performance at work or in school. Crime prevention. Crime prevention involves all the necessary attempts made to reduce crime and put off criminals. Some preventive measures against crime are educating people and creating awareness. When people are educated, they learn the proper way to behave, they learn their rights from their wrong, they learn their civic rights and responsibilities. Some people can also be educated informally. For example, when parents teach their children the right way to behave, that is an informal way of passing knowledge. Also, we can also prevent crime by creating awareness. This is when awareness programs are carried out by some agencies or bodies to educate people on crime and its effects. Another preventive measure is showing love and affection. When we show love to people around us, not just to our family members, but to our friends, our neighbors, even to strangers. When people show love, crime can be reduced because people will no longer think of harming themselves. Keeping the environment free from aids to crime. Another way we can reduce crime is to keep our environments free from aids to crime. For example, looking at this environment, we see how neat it is. But let's say we have a heavy object placed here. It can be an avenue for a criminal to climb and perhaps jump into the house. So we can keep our environments free from things that will aid or help criminals to commit crime. Another example is that our cars can be kept inside the car garage. Creation of jobs. When jobs are created and people are gainfully employed, they will think less about crime. Because remember, we said that some of the things that make people commit crime is unemployment. Okay, they are not employed and so they cannot fend for themselves. So when they are employed and they can meet their day-to-day needs, they will think less of crime. Another measure is dissociation from bad company or influence. We can prevent crime by not following or joining bad companies and also discouraging our friends or people around us from doing such. Cooperating with security agents, school, and neighborhood authorities to prevent crime. How can we do this? In cooperating with security agents, we can prevent crime by calling the police, especially when we notice any criminal activity or even suspicious movement going on around us. We can call the police. Remember, they are the ones that have the authority to make any arrests on criminals. Can also help by giving accurate crime reports. As you can see in this image, you can see someone giving a crime report. This is one way we can help in preventing crime. Cooperating with the school authority. This involves reporting criminal or suspicious acts. For example, in the school, you notice some people doing some funny things, or you notice a gathering of fellow students or strangers, maybe taking hard drugs. It is your responsibility as a good student and as a good citizen to report such acts to the necessary authority in school. Using social clubs as a platform to create awareness about crime and its effects. Social clubs in school are also platforms where we can talk about crime, its effects, and discourage one another from indulging in criminal activities. Dissociation from bad friends. We must learn not to follow bad friends. There are people we know around us or in school that are always doing the wrong things. We must make sure that we do not find ourselves in such companies. We can also discourage others or our friends from joining bad groups. When you see your friend or your neighbor doing some wrong things or moving with bad companies, you can discourage such a person. Now, there are things that we can do so that we will not fall victim of crime. Say, preventing being a victim of crime. Preventive measures include, 1, do not move around at night. If you must move at night for any reason, then you must make sure you are not alone. 2, do not stay alone in lonely environments. Most times, crimes are committed in lonely environments, so make sure you are not alone in such places. Do not listen to strangers when they call you to come close to them. If a stranger really needs help, he will call another adult and not a child. If you realize that you are close to a criminal, quickly move away and then run as fast as you can. Then do not follow friends, strangers, or neighbors to places you do not know. If you must go with them, then you have to obtain permission from your parents or guidance. These are the things you can do as a student to prevent being a victim of crime. With this, we've come to the end of our lesson. We'll take a quick summary to remind us of all we learned today. So that crime is a serious abuse or breaking of law which can lead to punishment by the state. We mentioned some common crimes. They are theft, murder, rape, advance fee fraud, otherwise known as 419. Causes of common crimes are poverty, lack of love, illiteracy, vengeance, economic instability, envy, amongst others. Effects of crime, we saw some effects and we said they are fear, distrust for people, rise in rates of unemployment, loss of lives and properties. Then we said crime prevention include education, love and affection, job creation, dissociation from bad company, cooperation with security agents, school and neighborhood authority in fighting crime. We'll take a quick test. Our test question says, when we report criminal activities to the police, we are cooperating with dash in fighting crime. A, the school. B, security agents. C, the neighborhood authority. Our answer is B. The police are also known as security agents, and when you cooperate with them in preventing crime, you're cooperating with security agents. We've come to the end of our lesson. Thank you for staying with me.